Alright guys, this video here is to do a quick recap onto the news trading strategy. Alright, so this one I want to highlight that you only apply this technique over here that we're gonna recap. Only apply this technique if you are trading a specific news. Alright, so I will also cover in the later part of this video what are the news that you can use this technique. Alright, not every news you can look into it. Right, now first thing is for this strategy, okay, the whole objective or the concept behind this technique, okay, it's we want to capture the immediate movement when price is released from high impact news, okay, which means that when the news comes out, we want to quickly capture that move in price, all right, if we get it. So there are some news that when the data is released, okay, the price will move significantly in one direction. So that will be ideal for us. Okay, but that sometimes when this news data is being released, price don't really move much. Alright, so when it doesn't do that, what we do is we just cancel our order. Right now, how do you find out what are the time when is this news going to be released and what are the specific news that's going to happen? Alright, this is the link here, www.forexfactory.com/calendar. Alright, once you go into this, you'll be able to see all the data, what are the news coming out, what is the currency related, and what is the specific time that is going to be released. Alright, and then from there, alright, that's where you go into your chart to spot for this checklist, okay, to see if they fit into this criteria. Okay, now for this video here, the example I'm gonna use would be on the Australian news. Alright, so imagine we have an Australian news coming up. Alright, so I'll use the context of an Australia news to give you an example in this video. Right now, the first thing here is if you are looking at Australian news, then all the charts and currencies that you want to be focusing on will be currencies that has Australia dollar in it. Okay, so I'll bring you to the chart for a moment. Okay, over here what I've done is I open up all the charts that have Australia in it. Okay, so you can see there's Australia Canadian, Euro Australia over here. Okay, Australia against the New Zealand, Australia against the US dollar, Australia dollar against Japanese yen, okay, pound against Aussie, and the last one is here, Australia against CHF, the Swiss franc. Right, now so the idea here is you mainly use H1 or H4. Now the time frame is not really the most important thing, okay, but as a guide, you only want to focus on 4-hour and 1-hour time frame. Okay, now what's more important is actually your second criteria over here, right? The range of your stop loss, which means that the range of your davers, the blue and the red dotted line, should not be too big or too small, and preferably we want somewhere around 30 to 40 pips range. Right now, what does this mean is if I go back to the chart, now over here you look at this example on Australia Canadian pair. Okay, you can see this is what I'm referring to, the davers box, your stop loss range. Between the blue dotted line and the red dotted line, your price must be about 30 to 40 pip. Okay, too small is not ideal, too big is also not ideal. Okay, now how do we measure? Okay, if you are using a mouse, you can click onto your scroll bar. This crosshair will come out. Alright, so what you do is you put your mouse cursor at the top of the blue, alright, and click and hold on your left click, alright, your left side of the mouse. You click and hold it, you drag it to the red line. Now you can see there are few numbers coming out. Alright, right now in the middle you can see is 396. Right, so that's referring to 396 points. If you convert it to pip, that it's 39.6 pip. Right, which means that we are somewhere between 30 to 40 pips range. Now this is ideal. Right, this is ideal, so that's what I mean. Now if I bring you to another one, let's say we look at pound Australia. Okay, same thing. The range I want to measure, click onto the middle of the scroll bar of your mouse. This will pop up. Alright, your cursor will change. Same thing, you left click and hold it, drag it to the red line. You can see now the middle number here is 1608. that is in points. So if you convert it to pip, that will be 160 pips. Now this is what I mean by too wide, alright? The range is not ideal for you to trade the news. Okay, so what can happen is if you're on 4 hour, okay, you can drop it down to 1 hour to see if the range now fits into that condition. Right now, quickly you can see this is the blue, this is the red. Now, if you're not using a mouse with a scroll bar, what you can do is you can click this icon over here. Okay, it's called crosshair. Same thing, you can click and measure. Now you realize that even when I'm on this time frame on 1 hour, okay, the range of this stop loss here is 75 pips, alright, 753 points. Now it also means that even on 1 hour, you realize that the condition doesn't really fulfill for me to trade it because it's 75 pips. It's a little bit too big. Okay, so what I'll do is then I'll say, okay, for Aussie this news, pound Aussie this pair, it's not ideal. It doesn't fit into that condition. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just ignore this pair. I won't focus on this for the particular news trading. Okay, so that is your second condition. Yeah, you want to look for the range, not too big, not too small. Okay, somewhere around 30 to 40 would be ideal. Now the third condition is this. The candlesticks for the past period, ideally you want it to be in the middle of your diverse box. Alright, so now if I go back to the chart, what I mean by in the middle, okay, is this, right? So I'll give you one example. Can you see this is where the price is? Okay, can you see this is where the price is? And this is your range of the diverse, the blue and the red dotted line. Alright, you can see that price now is exactly in the middle. Alright, so that is what we want ideally, price to be in the middle. If I show you this example, can you see Australia Canadian? Now price is very, very close to your blue dotted line. Now that is not ideal, alright? So before the news release, you want the price to be in the middle of the box, which is this, right? Very, very nice, in the middle of the diverse, right? Now that is your third condition. Okay, now based on this, alright, I'll do a quick example. If you are trading the Australian news, how am I going to filter now? Australia Canadian, alright, second condition of the range here fulfills it. It's a 40 pips range, but price is not in the middle, not ideal. So I'll do is I'll go to 1 hour to check if the condition fulfills. Now you realize, cannot. Why? Because price has already broken above your diverse. It's not in the middle, it's not inside, which means that Australia Canadian I cannot trade. So what I'll do is I'll remove it. Now Euro Australia, next pair. Okay, look at the range for this is about 50. Okay, 55. Not so ideal, but still you can still consider it. Alright, now if I go to 1 hour, the range becomes 27. It's a little bit too small. Okay, so between this 1 hour and 4 hour, okay, maybe 4 hour will be better than 1 hour because price is actually in the middle. The range is slightly wider, is about 50 plus to 60. Can consider, I'll put this aside first and see if I can find a better one. Okay, next one, Australia New Zealand 4 hour. You realize price is outside. This one cannot. Alright, so I go to 1 hour and I check the condition right now. This one here is about 18 or 20 pips. Too tight, too small. Okay, so what I'll do is cannot, this condition doesn't fulfill, I'll delete this away. Next one, Australia dollar. Now you realize price is already very near the box. Okay, though the condition is about 50, not ideal, still can consider, but price is already at the blue dotted line. Now check 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour price is out of it. Now this pair cannot trade also, so close it. Australia yen, alright, 4 hour, you can see, okay, the range is here. Wow, that is 120. Okay, so definitely cannot on the 4 hour chart. Right, next you go to 1 hour. Now 1 hour range, you realize, only 16 pips. Cannot, definitely too small. So I'll delete this away. Pound Aussie. Now Pound Aussie is the one that we went through just now. Yeah, you look at this one, 75, too big. Now this is already on 1 hour, so this cannot trade as well. Okay, last one, Australia Swiss franc. Now 4 hour price is out of the diverse. No way you're gonna trade this. Check on 1 hour time frame. Okay, now 1 hour time frame, you measure this, it's only about 17. okay, or close to trendy, too small. Now this one also cannot. Okay, now that leaves us with one. All right, now this is an example. Okay, so when you are doing this strategy on a news trading technique, okay, you want to check maybe about 15 minutes before the news, all right, somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes before news, all right, that will give you more opportunity. Today I'm just using as an example, all right. Now this is the best that we can look up for because price is in the middle, the range is about 50, not the best ideal one that we are looking for, but out of all the currency pairs, this one meets the condition closest to it. Right, so I'll use this as an example. We left with Euro Aussie. Okay, now after you have decided that okay, this is the pair you want to focus on, okay, the next thing you do is over here. Okay, you want to use your dashboard to place either a buy or sell, or you can use both direction. Okay, now what I mean is over here, okay, you load out your dashboard, 1B template. Now for news trading, okay, we ignore our FSI as a direction, which means that because you are trading a short-term immediate movement from the news, okay, FSI doesn't come into play. Okay, so what you need to do is you either decide, okay, for this particular news I only want to pick a sell trade. Okay, then you can choose to just trade the sell, or you say I only want to look to buy it for this particular news, then you look for the buy stop. Okay, now what we usually do is we can't project and predict, right, with high accuracy what the data will be releasing. Okay, and therefore what we usually do is we place two orders. That means we don't have a bias into whether is it up or down. We just put both. That means we key in a buy stop, we also key in a sell stop. Alright, so what you just need to do is check your dashboard, make sure that you take into consideration of your risk exposure, okay, which means that your total risk that you're gonna put in for this news trading. Once you're comfortable with that, you just need to click the buy stop and the sell stop. Alright, and after that, all the orders using the dashboard will automatically be keyed in, so you don't need to key anything manually. Okay, so that's what I meant, using this dashboard to key in your trade. Okay, now the next one, which is your fifth step, is very important. Okay, what you need to do is you need to open up a new chart of the same pair and load the template. Why? Because we want the smart profit protection to kick in. Okay, and what we need to do for this, if you are doing news trading, is to change the new chart time frame, set it to 1 minute. Right, so what this does for you is that every minute the smart profit protection will check for the condition. If it fits into that criteria, it will automatically shift your stop loss for you. Right, now so what I do here is, this is Euro Aussie. Okay, so what I need to do is open up another chart on Euro Aussie, okay, and load the template. 1A or 1B, doesn't matter, as long as you check right hand side over here has a smart profit protection smiley face. Change this to 1 minute time frame, and then that's it. All right, you just wait for the news to release and then look at how price is gonna react to it. Okay, now in this video, because we don't have any news that's upcoming right now while we're recording this, I won't be able to share with you exactly how we manage it. Okay, so in that part of how we manage those trades, okay, we'll share with you in an upcoming live trading webinar, where we'll trade the NFP itself on the webinar setting. Right, so do look out for our invitation, okay, for the particular news that we're going to trade. We'll be trading it online using a webinar setting, alright, which is where you can hear and see my screen, hear my voice, and then from there I'll share with you how we actually manage the trades when the news is released. Alright, so do we cancel, do we close it, and things like that. Alright, so this video here is to do a quick recap into how we prepare for that news. Okay, in terms of how we manage it when the news release, we'll do it during the live webinar session. Alright, so hopefully this video give you a quick recap into the news trading strategy and how you prepare before the news is released. Okay, and again, all these things I'll recap again during the live webinar. Right, so this is what I want to cover in this video. Hopefully it gives you a better understanding, okay, and a refresher for those of you who miss out on how to trade this. Right, so I'll see you guys during the live webinar this coming NFP. So if you're not available during that particular time, no worries as well. We'll record that live trading session, so you can also go back and review how we manage those trades when the news is released. Right, so that's all. I'll see you guys during the live webinar.